Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Piper Academy Network. This is the Morning Market Report. I'm Army Piper. Currently, guys, lots of red here on this chart, but move right there showing a little bit of green, up 23.2%. I do believe that is the one that was being talked about last night by TradeFly. I do believe he was talking about that one. So yeah, a little bit of action there on that, guys. But yesterday we talked about some key levels on Bitcoin. One of them being right there. That is that the 1.236. How to get that right? 1.236. I said, watch this for support. Well, we did wick down to the dynamic reactor, but overall, guys, all candle closes on that line of support that we talked about yesterday. Not in costume. I am in costume. I'm wearing my red shirt. I got my red shirt on, guys. Send me in. I'm ready. I'm Star Trek. If you know, you know. But we are getting a little bit of a bounce on that this morning. Markets opening a little bit of mix. We're going to be breaking that down. We're going to be talking about why we had such a crash. $1.5 billion in liquidations in the past 24 hours. So we're going to talk about what caused the sell-off and what happened. What happened? That's what I want to know. Guys, we're going to get into that and a lot more. Let's get it going. Class is in session. Guys, welcome to the Piper Academy at Christmas time. Got a little festivities going here for us and everything, but we're going to be talking about this right here today, guys. Looking at this chart here, we're going to be talking about these levels of this dynamic reactor that we had here. How did we get such a sell-off that happened yesterday? That wick pulling back there. Let's see here from the morning time yesterday. We'll go from that top wick to that bottom. That was about a 6.2% pullback there. Little bit of sell-off. Nothing horrible, though. We did talk about yesterday that there was, this is the normal cycle, week 6, week 8, that we get pullbacks on charts. So we're going to be breaking all that stuff down and talking about it. Got some great articles. We got a little bit of economic data, and we're bracing for tomorrow. Let's go ahead and jump over, though, because I don't do this show by myself. I got a co-host. Let's bring him up. What's up, OC guy? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, today's been a great day. I mean, very active from the very beginning. I also wake up early, took my coffee, in fact, double shot coffee. So I'm still grabbing the second one. Beautiful waffle breakfast and bacon. I'm so ready today.
Bacon. Yeah, so I want to go ahead and get into this news because we got a lot of stuff to go over today. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up here. Let me bring that all into size. But first, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Darren does things in here. He says, and BlackRock going to scam dump on us again today. We're going to talk about it. I do think that there is another downside coming, but we might see a little pump to the upside to some liquidity zones before we get that second dump. Mark Dutch in the house, BC Port Corp in here, the host of Good Morning Crypto, the pre-market show. You guys need to check it out. Alexandra G, the mod queen in here with us. Crypto Chef. We got the OC guy sitting right next to me and in the chat. We got username in here saying we can have Christmas trees, but no puppies trading crypto. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. John Foster Crypto's in here with us. Eric Wallen saying, hey, what's up, trades? He must be talking to Crypto Trades. Crypto Coin Mindset in here this morning, getting that membership. Shout out to you, bro. We appreciate you. Lunar Beach is Crypto there, the host of the Markets After Dark show. Let's see, Crypto Trades. Yep, Eric Dubs Wallen. That's what he said. Eric, it's Ballin Wallen. Get it right. Who else we got in here? Harp is in the house with us. Pump up that like button. Mike Play says, hey, what's up, Mod Queen? Mike Play's in here. I think I got everybody. Oh, Crypto Candy. Shout out to Crypto Candy. Thank you for joining us today, man. Kyle Fields. I think I got everybody. Ninja Glock. If I missed anybody, you guys are just blowing up the chat today. I appreciate you all. Make sure you guys do smash that like button, though, if you get any value out of this content today. And share it with a friend, because sharing is caring. Little fish, welcome to you. We're dumping now, John Foster says. Let's go ahead and jump into the news, guys. Let's talk about it. Looking at this news, all the news that's fit to be news here, you can see I got a new Bitcoin dominance thing here in CME. So looking at Bitcoin dominance here, sitting currently at 55.7%, Ethereum at 13%. Looking over here, though, fear and greed, we're at 76. We're still in greed. Yesterday we were at 83, last week at 80, last month at 74. So we have pulled back a little bit from extreme greed, but we are still sitting in a greed cycle. CMC altcoin season, guys. Everyone keeps saying altcoin seasons here, but according to this index, the CMC altcoin season score is at a 63 of 100. That is this light blue here. We need to go all the way over into the blue. So we are not quite there yet for alt season. You're just getting some good moves going on alts. That's all it is. And thank you to Mutual Crypto Zone for this fantastic display that he gave us here. Let's jump over and check this out, guys. The total crypto market cap, and let's refresh this because it's at 3.6. Okay, $3.6 trillion right now is the total crypto market cap. Moving it over there to take a look at what we're seeing on, well, nope, don't go to that. Go back. Thank you. $3.6 trillion market cap. Volume is up 73.7% in the past 24 hours. Big reason for that. Lots of sell-off, guys, and it was not all people just selling their crypto. We're going to talk about what actually caused that sell-off to happen. Looking here at the crypto bubbles again, give it a refresh. Lots of red on there. Again, move, virtual, CRV, MNT, BGB, about the only green. Oh, a Nave up there. I saw that just now before we slid down there. Bitcoin's currently sitting at $97,600, down 1.4% on the daily. Ethereum is sitting at 4.8% down, just under $3,700. We've got XRP down 9.6%, folks. It is at $2.17, losing its number 3 position again, down to number 4. Solana down 5.5%. That's $216. Lots of sell-off on the alts, guys. BNB down 5.4%. Doge is down 8.7%. USDC has moved up and taken Cardano's spot there. Cardano down 11%, just over $1, barely at $1. Tron is down 10.9%. Avalanche is down 9.9%. I mean, you can see the sell-off here. Sui, however you want to say it, it is down only 4.3%. It actually moved up 2 positions and has gained some little bit of momentum despite being down 4.3% in comparison to its peers. It is not down as much, so it's at $3.83, getting a 1% rally in the past hour. And then PEPE, guys, holding. Look, meme coins are holding better than Cardano, holding better than Tron, holding better than Avalanche. Well, not Shiba Inu. That meme coin tanked. But overall, what did Doge do? How much is Doge down? Doge is down 8.9. Yeah, PEPE doing quite well, down 4.2%. I'm impressed with that. And then Bitcoin Cash dropping 3 positions to number 20, losing 12.4% there. So that's it. I think we'll just go ahead and jump into the liquidations. We'll talk about this. In the past 24 hours, 510,584 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $1.56 billion. Largest single liquidation was on Binance. It was an Ethereum trade for $19.69 million in a single trade. Looking here, let's give this a refresh. CNBC showing that the Dow Jones currently down about 0.5%. S&P opening up about flat, neutral, 0.02%. And the NASDAQ getting a little bit of rally. Guys, this is happening not because the NASDAQ is moving up, but likely because we are seeing money come back into NVIDIA after a massive sell-off yesterday. That is what triggered a big chunk of the market to sell off. And on top of that, we had some events that got triggered during that sell-off, causing more sell-off. So NASDAQ up right now about 0.4%. The Russell 2K, that's your small caps, mid caps, it is down 0.67%. And the VIX volatility is in the green, which means we could be looking at a little more sell-off today, guys. Be aware, be aware. Looking at the economic calendar, we did have a couple of things that came in this morning. Non-farm productivity quarter over quarter came in. It was neutral. It was previously at 2.5. They expected it to be on forecast and consensus 2.2%, came in at 2.2%. And then unit labor costs. This is how much it costs for work to get done at businesses. They were expecting it to be a little bit higher, 1.5 to 1.9%. Actually came in at 0.8 after a revision of the 2.4% on the previous quarter. This means that it cost them less to get things done. This translation, future earnings could be a little better than expected. So, because they calculate in, this is what we expect to earn in this quarter, right? During the earnings reports for stocks. And in that analysis, in that assessment calculation, they look at what their labor cost is. Well, this actually showed that labor was a little bit less than what they probably used in those numbers. So that is what we have there. Tomorrow, guys, let's put this back on 2. Because if I left it on 2, you would only have API crude today. Looking tomorrow, we get core inflation data that's going to be coming in, expected to be flat right now of what it was previously. We're looking at core inflation rate year over year, expected to be flat what it was previously. Inflation rate month over month, expected to tick up 0.1% on inflation. And then year over year, expected to tick up 0.1% on inflation, which means inflation is slowly returning, and we're seeing some weakening of job numbers. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jerome Powell and the Fed approach those rate cuts or rate decision, we'll call it, on December 18th. That is about 8 days from now. Crypto market hit hard. Here's why we had so much sell-off yesterday, guys. Crypto market hit hard with $1.7 billion in liquidations, largest event since 2021. The broader crypto market experienced a major crash on December 9th, while the Bitcoin price dropped from $101,109 as low as $94,150, marking a 7% decline. The altcoin market suffered significantly more severe losses. Ethereum fell by as much as 12% at one point, XRP by 22%, Solana by 15%, Cardano by 23%, Dogecoin by 19%, and Shiba Inu by 25%. According to CoinGlass data, more than 562,000 traders got liquidated, $1.7 billion. Largest single liquidation was at ETH. We just talked about that. And then notably, Bitcoin's leverage flush was relatively modest compared to that of altcoins, with $143 million in Bitcoin longs liquidated. In contrast, ETH had more liquidations, $219 million, Solana $57 million. So across the entire crypto market, this represented the largest leverage flush since April of 2021, when a record $10 billion in futures liquidated in one single day. So what happened was, following the flush out, Bitcoin and most altcoins staged a sharp upward recovery, although they have yet to return to their pre-crash levels. What caused this market crash? According to crypto analyst LTRD, the underlying dynamic began with increased selling pressure on Coinbase, where traders started selling aggressively almost an hour before the major cascade. Although the ultimate plunge was triggered by a chain reaction of liquidations, this prolonged the selling in the spot market and was critical in pushing the prices into zones where over-leveraged traders had little choice but to sell off. That's what it is. So let's jump out and talk about this, because really you had some people that were selling. You had some whales that were taking their profits. They're up quite a bit, and they took some profit. And as that started to sell off, people start seeing the price drop. So they sell off because everyone's scared right now. It's what happens when price gets really high, right? So you get the sell-off event that causes other people to start selling. But what really caused the massive dump that we had was that once it started doing that price, and that price started dropping from those initial sell-offs, you had people that were over-leveraged on longs. And so because of that, they had tight liquidations. They were over leveraged, right? If you have a 10%, if you have a 10x leverage, that means a 10% move will liquidate you. 10 times 10 is 100% move, right? So if a 20%, if you're on a 5x, that would be a 20%. Just so you guys know, little education there for you. 5x times 20% is 100%. That's how you figure that out. So when you had these people that were over leveraged and you started to have these moves that were coming in to sell off and selling pressure, and people are seeing, oh no, numbers dropping, it wasn't like they went in and sold. A lot of people started seeing that they were going down 40% losses, 50% losses, 60% losses because of leverage. And then either they got liquidated, hence $1.6 billion in liquidations, or they got they got out of their trade and said, I'm going to take a 50% loss and live to fight another day. That's what happened with a lot of this stuff yesterday. So that's why I tell you guys all the time, if you don't have a lot of dry powder sitting on the side, you need to use stop losses, because it's better to have a little loss and be, oh, wow, it came down and wicked me out and it took off. That's fine. Would you rather have that, or would you rather be in a trade that you look at it and you didn't use a stop loss and now 70% of your trade amount is gone? You've got to use risk management, guys. You got to, because this is what caused an entire market to collapse yesterday, down to the levels that we saw, like 25% losses on a single altcoin. That's pretty severe. So, yeah, OC, thoughts on this? We had a sell-off initially, yes, from Wells taking their profits, right? But at the end of the day, could this have been avoided if people just used a little bit of risk management?
Absolutely. But we also need to understand that new members are always going to be here. Over risk are going to be here. I mean, come on, who would have thought that 3 hours capital will be involved in so much unresponsible management, right? So we can even see big players there just getting, I mean, just putting a stick through their own wheels, right? While driving that bicycle. I mean, of course, it could have been avoided. But I think it's a cycle that will repeat over and over and over. I mean, we are those kind of creatures that we fell twice in the same hole, right? And maybe 3 times, and maybe even 4 times. And I don't know how we made it all the way till 2024 like that. But I mean, still, we're still here, and yeah, and we just keep on falling into the same hole, right? But other than that, oh man, shout out to username, to Lunavich's crypto, and to Harp. Those guys are killing me in the side in the side chat, man. I just cannot do a straight face with them here. They're just like, like I'm trying to make the presentation. They're just out of the back, just making faces, throwing paper balls at me. Man, I'm just laughing my head off just to say something. But yeah, I mean,
I love our crew. Love our community, man.
Oh, man.
They are hilarious. All right, let's talk about.
Oh yes.
Let's talk about delicious coffee, and let's talk about. Matter of fact, if you guys are enjoying your coffee this morning, go ahead and drop a coffee mug down there. You have a Piper Academy coffee mug for the members down there. If you don't, I'm sure there's a coffee mug in the emojis. Go ahead and drop a coffee mug down there in the chat, guys. Let's talk about this, OC, because this is what we showed yesterday. This is from Rect Capital. It's his newsletter. And he was talking about here, and we break this out yesterday for you guys. The next couple of weeks could be problematic. We are officially in week 6 of Bitcoin's first price discovery. Okay. Now, looking at cycles in 2013, Bitcoin had a 75% retracement in week 7. I don't think we're going to have anything like that, but let's go look at like recent 2021. What happened here? We came up, had a massive rally. Okay. You can see this area right here. Do you see this area right here? That was a 16% pullback and an 8% pullback. Okay. So in 2021, Bitcoin retraced 16% in week 6 and 8% in week 8, both to the downside. Okay. Hence retracement. Therefore, the period between week 6 and week 8 represents a danger zone for Bitcoin price discovery corrections. This is after it broke its previous high. So, guys, I want you to be aware, 16% drop and then an 8% drop. But you see in the middle there's a green candle. Let's go jump over to the chart and let's take a look at that and see what we're seeing there. Because if we take a look at that on the weekly, and we go, okay, well, we had a nice pullback here. It wasn't obviously 16%. I guess from here down, that would be about 9%. Okay. But we could still have next week a nice pump to the upside and then another dump. Now, overall, it's still going to be an upward movement, but I do think that we do have a return rally to the upside. And the reason that I think that is because of this heat map, guys. You look here on the heat map, and there's not a lot sitting below us. There is one down at like 94,000. I do have an entry on my trade down there. I think we could see something along those lines again. But in general, the big hot spots are sitting above us in the $102,000 range to the $104,700 range. So 104.7 and then about 104. So we have more upside liquidity than there is downside liquidity. They've already grabbed a bunch. You look, there was a yellow spot here at about 97,000. It's gone. There was another one here. It's gone at about 98,000. There's even small ones here at like 95, 94. Overall, we've cleaned out a majority of the liquidity below us. I think we will see another pump to the upside coming up, and then we'll have another pullback. So hence why the thumbnail says we could have another pump coming. It's not completely over, and be careful if you think that, oh yeah, we bottomed, let's run into this. You start getting on, start picking up, some crypto thinking the rally's back on, we just bottomed, and then we get another one coming back on that. So this is coin glass that I'm looking at, not glowing glass. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Golden goose, glowing glass. I was close. I have no clue what you're saying, user name. You're losing me today, bro. So yeah, guys, watch those levels. $104,000 there is what I'm watching on that. Looking at the chart, the $104,000 level that I'm watching there. Let's just put this back on a 4 hour and let's talk about some of the levels here real fast. All right, so we do have this. We do have the support that we talked about here yesterday. This is the 1.236. All the candles closed right there above that. And if you guys don't remember, these fibs are being pulled over a 6-year period. They start back in 2018. These are trim-based fib extensions, and they're still playing out beautifully for us. This level right here is where we got that. On the Market Oracle Pro from Chart Prime, guys, we did get the wick down to the dynamic reactor, just like we previously had. Both of those areas would have been prime get in areas. Unfortunately, I missed that. I was in the middle of making a video. So we do have a quantum reactor coming in at about $94,000. So if we did go down to clean out those other liquidity areas, we have strong support here on Chart Prime's indicators. But looking at the oscillator, we did print the peach power bar. This says, hey, we're running out of energy on this downward trend, okay? We also got the uptrend. We got a true 7 clipping there, and we're in transition color. It does look like we're set for this to move up. But remember, we could grind sideways and reset all of this back into that 0 range without much, and then get another rejection off of this. Well, a lot of times that happens. You can see here we came up, got this little pump to the upside, hit that 0 line, back down the price went. So be aware of that when we do get into that 0 line range on the oscillators, any of the oscillators, guys, but specifically on the Oscillator Pro, that you could be getting that rejection there. Right now, we are forming a doji candle on the 4 hour, trying to fight and hold some upside momentum. Let's go ahead and turn on this trend line here. Let's get that going. Stand by to stand by. There we go. Bringing on the Market Dynamics Pro. Looking here, there's a trend line that I'm also watching in this range. We did break wicks below that here, and all of these. However, that is currently sitting at about 96,600. So we do have a little bit of support coming off of that. And then if we throw up the 3D trend, guys, you'll see we wicked below it, and we have still closed in this 3D trend. So as long as the 3D trend is still continuing to show us this upward movement of support, guys, it's okay. If we come down and we break this or hit these bottom ranges of this 3D trend, to me, that's time to get in also for some trades, because in general, that 3D trend is holding as an upward movement. OC, let's kick it over to you, see what you're seeing on your chart. But first, Museum of Corruption. Yeah, super sticker, $5 super sticker. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to you, bro. Much love. OC, let's go ahead and kick it over to you. Let's see what you got, man.
Absolutely. Just take a look at what we got yesterday. Basically, we were looking at this bounce of this or resistance at this area and planning for it to keep going downwards. Then we also took a look, and let me just forward this one. Oh, come on. I don't know why it skipped it, but let's just take a look at my spaghetti. So we also had the dynamic reactor coming in strong. Not only the dynamic reactor, we also had my area of entry boxing here. Let's just turn it on to see if that worked. It worked like charmed, right? So I mean, basically, just to not to double down too much into it, it is very similar to what you're looking at. So just looking at the dynamic reactor coming in strong, we have a pattern here. It did act as a support, but we overextended at this area, and we have absorption zones, right? The same absorption zone that we have been seeing here, 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 and here. But yes, I mean, we still have those lower lows, but also those higher lows, right? So this is a spearheaded end of a cycle, and for me, that needs to be taken into consideration. Usually when we see a spearhead here, or just a symmetrical triangle ending or trying to break through a upranging zone, usually that ends up playing out well, but slowly, right? So what I could be expecting, it is exactly what you mentioned here. I mean, it is a fake out like that, so going back up, bouncing from the top, and then going back down. And after I see, let me just move this out of the way so we can keep track of what is happening here. No, come on. There we go. Until I don't see this line being taken, I'm not jumping in as long. So it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, double bottoming here like we've been expecting, like in here, right? Exactly the same. And then off we go with the movement. Still, I believe that there's a chance that we could be making sort of like a double top and that have that big correction or big-ish correction. But other than that, pretty similar of what you're also having in your charts.
Let's jump over here and talk about this then, OC. You know who's buying Bitcoin? You know who's buying it? ETFs are buying it. Every time that it sells down a little bit, we get the ETFs. That's who does it. Oh, shout out to Alex. Oh, crypto, the otter gang in the house. I need an otter emoji, man. I got to figure out which one to take off. Maybe I'll take off Ethereum and we'll put an otter emoji for the members in here. ETFs holding Bitcoin are now crypto's largest holders, surpassing Satoshi Nakamoto in the number of tokens. So there you go. That's who's buying your crypto up, guys. Bitcoin Exchange traded funds are now the largest holders of the flagship cryptocurrency. The 12 spot Bitcoin ETFs in existence have collectively passed $100 billion in assets under management, one of the most successful ETF launches in history. The funds are now own slightly more than 1.1 million Bitcoin, equivalent to about 5% of all of the Bitcoin in existence. Michael Saylor owns like 2% of it. So guys, there's who's buying your Bitcoin. And it's not just them. It's starting to happen. We've already heard about Microsoft maybe looking at doing this. Marathon Digital just did this, and they're looking to do some more. Now, Bitcoin bet for Amazon, question mark. 5% stake proposals raises eyebrows. Amazon may be now buying your Bitcoin. Let me get rid of that. Let me do that. There we go. Thank you. Amazon may be buying the Bitcoin. Bitcoin might become part of Amazon's treasury strategy as the online retail giant shareholders are pushing for adoption of the cryptocurrency and its assets. If Amazon embraces digital assets, it will join other business titans exploring the inclusion of Bitcoin in the portfolio asset. Bitcoin is a financial reserve option for the shareholders at Amazon. They urged Amazon, the shareholders, they're like, buy Bitcoin, bro, to evaluate the possibility of adding Bitcoin to its balance sheet. A U.S.-based think tank told Amazon to assess the prospect of using a portion of its financial reserves to hold that Bitcoin, according to a recommendation made by the National Center for Public Policy Research, the NCPP. The shareholders of the company are asking its board to investigate this. How many times can you repeat the same thing in a different language? The American think tank suggested that, again, repeating. The researcher said that including some Bitcoin can diversify the company's balance sheet, solving the problem without taking on too much volatility. That's who's buying your Bitcoin. ETFs, Amazon's, Microsoft. Guys, do not get shaken out. Again, as we just said, this is normal. We just talked about this. Look, for those that are just coming in, we talked about this yesterday. The next couple of weeks could be problematic. We are officially in week 6 of price discovery. Historically, we've seen, back in 2013, a 75% retracement before ultimately a 1,079% move to the upside. Back in 2016, we had a retracement, 34% in week 8. What it do? It came back and it rebounded a whopping, crap, it went all the way up to $20,000. And when it did the first retracement, it was at $750 or $1,000. So 2021, Bitcoin retraced 16% during week 6 and another 8% in week 8. But like I said, we did have a little pump up there. So that 8% movement was not as low as what the 16% was, because you can see we had a 16% retracement. And then we pumped up past where that candle had started at and then did a pullback down again. So and then after that, we went up 250%. So guys, this is normal. Everything is normal right now. We see these drawdowns over and over and over again. It's worth emphasizing that week 6 tends to be the least problematic, which I said we probably have another big dump possibly coming. Bitcoin's 8% in week 6, whereas the other price discovery corrections have occurred in week 7 and week 8. It's worth treating week 6 nonetheless as a week focused on risk management, so you don't have $1.6 billion in liquidations. Of course, price could still go up in the meantime. There was some upside there during the whole time period. So don't think that right now these pullbacks are the time for you to be over leveraged, overexposed, or be selling off, because at the end of the day, price tends to go up. We still have this period that we're going to be moving to the upside, and every time that you're selling it, we got a BC Port Corp. Bitcoin vote by Microsoft today. So today, Microsoft is voting on Bitcoin, right there along with what we were just talking about on Amazon. So when you look at this chart here, guys, this is the returns on historical returns on Bitcoin. Again, back to CoinGlass here. Looking at 2020, that would be where we are 4 years ago, right? Before you went into 2021, had the cycle top, 2025 cycle top, right? 46% upside on Bitcoin is what they had in December. They came around January, February, March, had 14.5%, 36.7%, 29.8%. Let's go take a look and see what it is now, where we are right now. We're up 1.09% for December. That means we still should have some upside coming here. If you move this over to the quarterly, getting out and getting shaken out of Bitcoin in December of 2024 could result in you missing out on what's coming in Q1 2025, because in 2021, Bitcoin experienced a 103% upside. So right now, all of the crypto that's being sold off, it's a lot of wells. People are over leveraged, it's triggering more sell off. And the people that are causing these rebounds and price to go up, it's the ETFs, it's the big institutions, it's the big corporations. And that is why you guys need to be careful. Now, if you're taking profit because you're way in profit, like those wells are, or you bought at the very bottom of the market, and you are just taking some profit, that's fine. No one's ever gone broke taking profit. But if you're selling because you think it's the end, guys, I got a video coming out on that. That's going to be coming out this week. I recorded it all yesterday, and I think that you might be a little early to the sell-off game at this point. The pullbacks that I think are coming are nothing like we saw from March through August. I think they're more like what we saw in 2016 and 2020, where we had some pullbacks before we rallied. OC, your thoughts on that, bro?
$500,000 Bitcoin, maybe? I don't know.
maybe. Shout out to Crypto Princess, guys. Crypto Princess in the house right there. I see you, Crypto Princess. She's a UK content creator and YouTuber. She just recently joined our Discord. We put her in there as a content creator and a partner, guys. She is doing a lot of interviews. She just did one with Alex O Crypto, interviewing him. And then also she's going to be interviewing me coming up this week. So shout out to Crypto Princess. Glad to have you here in the chat. And Alexandra G, Mod Queen Extraordinaire, if you could please pull her link and drop that in the chat, I would appreciate it. I know that's like out of the blue, out of nowhere, but I know you got this. You got it. Shout out to Crypto Princess. Welcome. Yeah, I think the upside movement is potentially astronomical. Potentially, it's not impossible. I actually talk about this on video. I can't give anything away, OC. I can't give anything away. That video's got it all in there. But I do think that $150,000 to $167,000. I'll give you that little tidbit nugget. I do think that's very likely. So, Bet Innuendo. He said, can you guys take a look at the DXY? Yeah, OC, you want to go ahead and pull that up and we'll jump over to your chart and take a look at the Dixie.
Perfect. Let me just pull another one really quick here because I was looking at PEPE. It was requested before, but let's just keep an eye on DXI very quickly here. Sorry for that. Let's go to the charts first. And then there we go. I got it right here. So for the delay, it was a little bit in the hurry. So let's take a look at here. Let's go just a little bit far back in here. I'm liking what I'm seeing here, especially because I can also see a little bit of a head and shoulders cricket here, and we did not lose the neckline so far. Let's get started as always with what we can see with our own eyes and also what we can see predicting. And then let's add our indicators here to make things much more clean and clear. Something that I also want to point out beforehand, it is that we are above the zero line here, and we have not yet broken the previous high. This is a little bit worrying because it seems like we should have had enough momentum to then keep pushing upwards, but still it is not all lost. So far, let's just do one quick trend line here. This is going to be my trend line. This trend line seems like it is already broken. Remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and off we go. And this kind of like adds to the fact that we are on the oscillator at the top. We could be having a flip of the ribbon here and then going back down. This will also take us below dynamic reactor, and then the trickling down scenario could be starting. Still, DXI, I don't think it's going to be so much of too much to worry about. It's also another possibility that I'm seeing right here is if I do this like that, and then also start looking at a possible flagging here, you'll see that I have sort of like a pennant. We could even argue that this could be the base, right, of this pennant, bullish pennant. And again, where are we at? Basically at key resistance at key resistance. I will be just going for the oscillator at this point. Let me start adding my indicators right now to start having a little bit more of that information in the background, right? So the first thing I want to see, it is that exactly as we were expecting, we are on a big resistance. Not only single resistance, we are between the 5 most important 4-hour resistance and the 5th more important daily resistance. So there is a combo right there that we are bouncing from. We do need at least a goose head scenario here. What is a goose head? Something like that. We need a goose head something like that, or we need a goose head something like that to start playing out at these areas. For what? For a little bit of a retracement and then continuing blasting through these areas of resistance. I want to see that blast of these 3 areas of resistance before I have a pullback to this main area, effectively creating a higher high, making this one a sweep of the lows, and then that's when I will be planning to jump in for a long. So far, we're bullish. Guys, do not take your eyes out of the ball. We are still bullish, right? But we are in a complicated zone. We are between the high volume area and a resistance, and we've been fighting that area. We need to wait to see how that momentum plays out. And let me give you guys right now, I think, the meat on the soup. I will not be engaging on longs or short until I see this. And I'm starting to sound like a YouTube video or a YouTube short, right? So until I see either a bounce and holding once again this area for a technical higher low, right? And alongside, I want to see that as I approach to the zero line. That will give me the heads up to then predict or assume that I could have a zero line bounce, right? And if I do have the zero line bounce, I will be jumping in maybe a little bit late here into a long as I do head over to the upside. And in this case, I will be using a very tight stop loss. Why? Because I don't have confirmation yet. I'm moving ahead of the market, right? This is not financial advice, all right? But this will be my technique to try to catch the early bouncing here and then continuation. If you rather wait for a more safe scenario, I just wait for the flip of the ribbon right here and also the breakthrough retest at these areas. The other way around will be just waiting for the short scenario, which is going to be breakthrough. Look at that, where we have that support. That will make it so we are below the dynamic reactor that will then be mashing up with those resistance areas, right? So it's not about the breakout, it's about your retest, and off we go to our next support area. So far, that's what I can get just from the oscillator and the support and resistances. We can also predict almost exactly the same zones by just looking at our liquidity zones, right? So I'm not going to be going over them once again. But as you can see, also the same happens when we are talking about predictive support and resistances, right? So once again, all of the confluence are pointing as that we are in a crazy resistance, all right? We are close to have a flip of the ribbon. So having a long right here, not a good idea, right? As Trayfal would say, man, I miss you, buddy. You should be here also. But it would be a no zone, right? So other than that, that's what I have on DXI. Maybe when you throw it back to me, I'll take a look at PEPE because PEPE is looking very interesting.
Yep, we can definitely do that. Let's take a look at XRP here. I know one of the members in our community is actually in an XRP trade right now, trying to mitigate some threats is what he's trying to do. We'll call it that. Guys, we do have a pullback here. We got a rejection on our platinum pocket of our fibs, the 786. This happened here on, let me get the brush tool. This happened here on Tuesday, December 3rd. We got a double top rejection here on that 786 at $2.81. Started this pullback. We also lost the local value area high off of this local fibs here. Right now, guys, we are sitting below after trying to get a bounce on the golden pocket, which was overlaid with the point of control. Right here is the point of control volume node on that fixed range volume profile. We lost that. We tried to hold it. We lost it. Had a big sell-off wick. Came all the way down to the value area low and past the 618 at $2.23. We've now lost the golden pocket and we are looking at another rejection here. But I do want to show you guys some stuff. We do have the 50. Now, I talk about this all the time, that if you come down on the 50% fib and you bounce on it to the upside, that is a very bullish thing to do. A retest of the 50% is a very bullish move for crypto to make, or anything. Stocks, doesn't matter. TA in general, that is the way it is. When we look at this level here, we can see that that's coming in at about $1.85 to $1.90, okay? That's the first level of support that I am watching here right now. We do have the uptrend that has printed here, but we have not gone into that transition color yet of the ribbon there, that peach color. It's still in pink right now. So we could see this continue to the downside on price. At the same time, this ribbon flips back over again, and then we get a bullish divergence that gives us that upside move. Here's what I'm watching that for, and here's the reason. If we go back here and we take a look at this period that we had back here on the 1st of November, we had a very similar situation, mind you, parabolic run up there. So I got to zoom this in so you can see that actual price structure there. We had a period here where we had that downtrend, hit the uptrend arrow, and then price continued down a little bit more, but not as low on the oscillator ribbon, gave us that bullish divergence, and then we sent into an upward move before hitting the prophecy indication of pump that printed long before you got into all of this. Guys, the prophecy printing down here was a massive run up indication on XRP. So we could see something very similar because if you notice, despite this pullback, we have not got a dump prediction yet on the prophecy for a downside move, which means we're probably not going to go much past this volume node here, which you can see there's a nice volume node there, and the dynamic reactor in the 50%. It is very possible, very likely that this is the range of support that we get, and then we get that curvature, give us that bullish divergence. And then we get that return to the upside, and that this was all just a distribution and accumulation phase that we're looking at. When you put this on the daily, you'll see that as of right now, yes, we have created a lower low from here, but as of right now, in the grand scheme of things, like the weekly, we're not really setting a lower low. We're still setting, matter of fact, we can bring it down to 3 day. We're still setting a low level for another bounce. So, in general, guys, I think that we are looking at some levels that we could have some pullbacks to, but watch for that $1.83 range to be your bounce. Let's go ahead and jump over to your chart and take a look at PEPE, OC.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at PEPE here. I was also talking about the T-Rex bagels from Boston. Guys, you make me hungry. All right, that's what if I'm in shape, I need to be a circle. So let's take a look at here. PEPE, I was also being told that this always is just pumping, right? I give a call a couple of days before. Plan A was a bounce out of this resistance zone. We were also bouncing from the zero line. Guys, this is why I give that much importance to the zero line bounce, right? So look at that, how strong we have that bounce, which means that we do have that momentum. We see that momentum rushing in, and it did not care about that resistance, right? That's also what we want to see, a clean break through that resistance. That is a well-taken resistance, right? It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. Guess what is it? What is it coming, right? Still, let's just take a look at the microstructure. I think we need to take a look at the daily. Remember that in daily, we're looking at a bull flagging here, right? So there we go. Look at that beautiful bull flag has been broken. It's not about breakout. Once again, it's about your retest. And now we go by taking previous highs. Let me clear this up and continuing with this analysis. The first thing I'm going to be doing is acknowledging this trend line. And then, of course, this next trend line that we already can see right here. I'm going to be a little bit patient with them. Let's just call them like that, because these guys kind of like go through it, right? But still, I think that makes a pretty good trend line here. Something that also I want to point out is that we are making something like a goose head. Remember the previous goose head that we had? This one here, previous, a little bit retracement before a further move to the upside. That further move to the upside is just basically a second chance, does not needs to be higher. But what I'm seeing here is that because of the momentum that we have also being shown here, also being shown in this candle, I think that we could be having one higher high and then coming back down here. Let's go back to the 4 hour here, and that will essentially make a double top pattern at this point with a quick top, right? And then going to take back again this trend line. So important things to note here. Let me just bring up my classical indicator. Where are we on our oscillator? We're going through that zero line, right? Is it not confirmed yet? And we are not into a support zone. So that is not good. I want to have the combo of any kind of support plus zero line rejection, right? That will make things much harder to break or easier to understand where we're going to be longing. So far, let me start bringing up the rest of my indicators. So you can see all of my reactor zones are all the way down here, which makes it dangerous. Why? Because if I break down to this area here and I'm also below the zero line, remember, below the zero line means we do not have that momentum to keep pushing upwards, and that will also get me before known trend line, right? Which is now known resistance. So it's not about the breakout, it's about your retest, and off we go. So as with anything else at this point, and that is usually because of Bitcoin, we need to be careful right now at this stage. So how is going to be my play game right here? First of all, oh, come on, where are you? There you go. I want to see where my order blocks are being built up, right? And not only that, I also want my predictive mathematics to lead the way. So first, do I have any kind of support? Yes, I do. I can see it right here, and also kind of like appears with this area right down here, right? The next thing that I want to look at, and you won't see me do this too often, but this is one of those cases. I don't want to lose this area or this line on the oscillator. So if I see it, I'm going to be giving it just this grace period like this. All right. If I'm here, I'm seeing a flip of the ribbon I'm still on support. For me, that's going to be enough to make a long position right here with a very tight stop loss, right? Knowing that it could be taking me out. And why is that? Because look at where I have my next support area, which is where I was telling you guys it's not about the breakout, it's about your retest, and off we go. Then why would I not be shorting it? That is because I have not yet have a pivot point, right? And making a lower high. The lower high will be my indications that I need to get out of there ASAP, but so far it's not there yet. So not to miss this trade, let me add there we go, an alert right here. You can see at 0 point. Well, since this is perpetual, right? Oh no, it's spot. Oh man, too many zeros. Look how many zeros there are. You can pause the video and give it a look. And 23072. So that's going to be my alert. And as soon as it rings, I'm going to be looking at it. Other than that, it's looking bullish to my eyes. Still, we can lose that bullishness. How are we going to be losing that bullishness? Once again, if we lose the trend line. Turning it back to you, my friend.
Awesome. Let's take a look at two things. I want to take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, and I want to take a look at the CME futures, because guys, we do still have a little bit of a CME gap that was not closed out from last Friday. If we take a look here, let's just keep some of these levels in mind. I want to jump back over to here and take a look. We've got this level at about $102,548. There's a level of liquidity there, and then another one up above it at $104,500 ish. Okay. Jumping into and taking a look at this chart, you can see here that we did close on Friday on the CME at about $102,400. That is that first level of liquidity. And we did have an attempt here on the wick, but if I bring this into focus a little bit and show you, the wick never actually closed the CME gap. Technically, the CME gap has been filled up to this point here. Right there. That is what's been filled. The rest of this above that is still remaining to be filled on a CME gap. So filling up to that liquidity area of $102,000 here, $102,500, getting that cleaned out is a very high likelihood based on what we're seeing on the CME gap that hasn't been filled yet. Also, someone in the chat was talking about the Bitcoin dominance. Let's jump over here and take a look at that. Yes, guys, Bitcoin dominance is on its way back up. It looked like it was doing right here, and this is what it is. Let's go ahead and draw it out. You guys see this spike right here, and then this big round belly. Anybody know what that is? OC, do you know what that is right there? What is that?
Oh yeah, Eve and Adam and Eve.
That is an inverse Adam and Eve, and that typically breaks to the upside. So we had an indication that this pattern was in play and that it could be playing out. We are seeing that now, getting back above the dynamic reactor right now to push Bitcoin dominance higher. A lot of that happening right now as we speak because the alts are getting sold off at a much greater rate than what we are seeing on the on Bitcoin. And I did put a poll in this morning on the chat, guys. I said, are you worried about your crypto bags? Right now, currently 25% of our viewers have said yes out of 81 votes. 81 votes, 25% of them said yes, and 75% said no. So I can understand why some people are concerned right now, but it's the altcoins is really what the big sell-off is. It's not so much what we're seeing overall, though, guys. Little bit of pullback is normal. We are 6 weeks in to breaking levels of discovery, being in discovery zone, and price is typically pulling back at that time period. So nothing out of the norm. Just breathe. If you're overexposed, you might, need to manage that. But that's just, in the long run, guys, it's dollar cost average. Remember, ETFs are not missing this opportunity to pick up cheaper coins. So, Coinbase algorithmic selling coming in hot again, DDT says. Yeah, I do think that we are going to see, like I said, another comeback. That's why the thumbnail says what it says today. But I do think that overall, guys, we're going to be okay. Again, that level that I'm watching on Bitcoin right now to hold is going to be the 1.236 here. If we do lose that, I've got some levels below. As soon as this loads up, you'll see it that I'm watching here. Quantum Reactor down at $93,000, and then ultimately, after that, it's anyone's game. So, OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man? You got anything for the people? You've had fun with the chat today, so you and the alumni, man. I'm gonna have to separate you guys. What do you got for the people, man?
Oh man, I've been waiting this moment so long. Actually, BC Portcorp said, OC smelling his hands. I told him, wait, it gets better. I've actually planned today's like, guys, click that like. First of all, thank you for being here. Next, please click that like button, because if you do, then you'll have balls just like mine. Oh, you cannot see it. That's why. Those are stone balls, right? But also, I was just making sure that my balls had not enough lotion there. So yeah, I just was cleaning them. That's why I just was making too much lotion on my balls.
Oh, see, did you say that, did you say you'll have balls like mine? Oh, you can't see them? I've heard that. I've heard that's an issue.
Wait.
All right, guys.
Way too big. Here we go.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We appreciate you. If you guys got any value of this content, go ahead and smash that like he said, and share this with a friend, because sharing is caring. We are about to head over to Randy Hipper's house. We're going to go see our frat mom. We're going to go over there and drop some graduation caps. And then, guys, be sure, tune in right here. Piper Academy Network, 5 shows daily, Monday through Thursday. Starts off in the morning, BC Portcorp with the Good Morning Crypto. You are watching the Morning Market Report right now. We have the afternoon show with Crypto Trade Intuition. It is Trade Academy. And then in the evening, we're going to have the Crypto Nightcap, the #1 show on the channel, evidently, with FD White and TradeFly. And then wrapping it up tonight at the market open of the Asian market, it is going to be Lunar Beach's Crypto, who's dropping some amazing alpha and calls every night, just like BC Portcorp in the morning. Catch all 5 shows right here on the Piper Academy Network. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Till then, trade safe. And use risk management. How about that? Risk management, liquidity or stop losses. It doesn't matter how you do it. Use risk management, guys. We'll catch you later. Peace.
I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off
to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude.